At this time, I'd like to introduce our President and CEO, Paul McEntire.
Just want to give a few brief remarks. This is an annual event, we hope, but this is the first one, so none of us were quite sure what we were getting into. But one of the nice things about doing the first is there's no rules that you have to follow. So you can do whatever you want to do, and then when you're done, if there's something you don't like, you just don't do it again. So we would certainly appreciate your feedback. But a part of what we're here for tonight is to look back just a little bit on last year, our fiscal year that ended September 30th, but also to look ahead and to launch our fundraising in a public way for our annual Strong Kids campaign for the year ahead, because there are indeed a lot of needs that we continue to be asked to fill in our community, and then there's that whole long list of needs that tugs at each of our hearts when we walk through our neighborhoods, visit our schools, go to our Ys, and see the conditions and situations of some of the families that are in our community. And I can't think of really a better place that I would like to be. I somehow wish we could get all of us in the same room on a more regular basis. I have the good fortune of seeing a lot of you on a regular basis, but never together. And some of the greatest people that I know and the strongest supporters of the Y that I know are in this room tonight, and oddly enough, you don't know each other. And I think that's part of the magic of the Y. The YMCA organization has been around internationally since 1844. It migrated to Boston in 1851. We've been in Jacksonville for 102 years now. An organization exists for that length of time for some very important reasons, and one of them is one that our National Y has begun to highlight in the last year just in talking a little differently about our organization. And what we came up with is, what is the key unifying thing that we could talk about our Y doing? And there's probably several answers you could give to that question, but the one we've collectively agreed on is that our commonality is around the fact that we strengthen the foundations of the community that we live in. And you see on things like here, the new logo that came out as a part of a major rebranding, and most of you probably weren't paying attention, but there was actually just a little bit of controversy when the first announcement was made that the organization was going to call itself the Y. And a handful of people thought, well, there's some motive here to take C and Christian out of the Y. And I knew that wasn't the fact, and so I was delighted to talk to anybody that wanted to talk about that. And the reality is, if you look at this logo, YMCA is still on it, so it's on business cards and letterheads, and when the economy's better, it'll be on the front of buildings. But I have no doubt that the C is in the Y, and at least in Jacksonville, Florida, it will stay in the Y, because looking around this room, a letter on a letterhead or on a building does not make an organization anything. What makes our organization an organization that can live up to our mission of putting Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all is that those Christian principles through Christ live in the heart of the people that are the Y. We are not buildings, we're not equipment, we're not letterhead, we're not a website. I'm told if you want to, you can keep up with all of tonight's events on Twitter and on Facebook, and we're not that. That helps tell people what we are. But if you want to know what the Y is, and if you want to know the genius of the Y, look around the room. It's the donors, it's the volunteers, it's the staff, and it's maybe the most unsung heroes in the Y organization, some of who are in the room tonight, the spouses and family members of YMCA employees. Truth be told, you sacrifice time with your spouse, with your siblings, with your parents, with your children who happen to be employees of our organization so that they can do the good work we do. And I just want to take a brief moment to acknowledge that. I know in my house, the things that I've been able to give the Y would not have happened if it wasn't for my wife and my daughter's understanding, and more than that, like most of you that are here tonight, buying into the mission yourself and wanting to be a part of that. The three big pillars that our organization is built on and is now trying to talk about ourselves, we have had enormous success with in the last year. And interestingly enough, when the National Y announced its 3 focus areas, the very words that it picked were almost synonymous with words our board of directors had chosen over 4 years ago. One of those areas is youth development. When we take care of children before and after school and in summer months, the reality is YMCA staff spend more time with those children than their parents do. That's just the reality of the math. And so the role those staff members and volunteers that come along beside them play in developing those children is enormous. We have reading, tutoring programs going on at 5 different schools. We're in team-up programs funded by the city of Jacksonville. And all of the programs that we provide for youth are provided without any requirement to pay more than you have to pay. And a part of the fundraising effort that you all help us with makes that possible. A second major area of our work is healthy living. We're doing groundbreaking work in Jacksonville in the area of diabetes prevention. We received a $100,000 grant this last year to launch a program that is now beginning to find tremendous success. We just received a $52,000 grant from the CDC to launch a public policy program in Nassau County in partnership with their health department to try to set public policy issues that will not only allow health to happen for a few, but for everyone. One of our honored guests here tonight, many of you will know by name, former Senator George McGovern is with us tonight, and one of his goals is to live to be 100. If the things I checked today are right, he's got about 11 and a half years, and he's counting on the Y to get him there. So Senator McGovern, you've got the right person in Cindy training you, and we'll do all we can. You just have to invite us to the party. And the final pillar is social responsibility. In reality, I think most of what we do because as an organization we feel a responsibility to do it. Whether it be our Daystar program that provides daycare for mentally handicapped adults, whether it be deciding to launch out and start a charter school when in Jacksonville the track record of charter schools was not that strong, whether it's taking the responsibility to provide swim lessons in our day camp programs with our Go for Green program to children that were not able to afford it by making it free and embedding it into our day camp program. In countless ways, we see need and we feel responsible to fill it. If you didn't get it when you come in, I hope you'll grab it as you leave. Our annual report is out, and the theme of it and the theme that we tried to focus tonight around are just a few short words, 3 words to be exact, that says, "Together we are." If we had enough time, I'd put whiteboards around the room and invite you to come up with words or phrases to complete that sentence. Together we are. I took a few minutes a couple of weeks ago to do that, and the only problem I came up with is the idea I like best doesn't really make very good grammatical sense. Because if I had only one answer to fill in the blank, I would say together we are together. I'd never really thought about it. Very few organizations do their ends equate to their means. Our primary end is to bring our community together and strengthen it, and the way we do it is by bringing people together and strengthening them so that in turn we can strengthen others. And so I would invite you tonight as we leave and go back into our work to find whatever ways make the most sense for you and your life and your family to join us in together making our community better.